guys, Fox here. For those of you who follow me pretty regularly and watch some of my shorts, I did a short on a new handheld Game Boy system called the Modretro Chromatic. Unboxed it, turned it on. It was pretty cool and I really liked this system, and I decided I wanted to talk more about it. And plus I have a couple of the games that were released for the system. But let's go ahead and get started and talk about the cool box that it came in. And it's a very retro box. Kind of reminds me of like some 90s notebook doodles and colorings and stuff like that. Really neat. It had a window here to show, you know, the stripes, colors, or the color variant that you have of the system. And bundled with Tetris, which is very classic, just like the original Game Boy. Got all the little color font there. Here's the back, and this is a list of all the different color variants you have. So I bought mine is the retail exclusive one, and I got it through GameStop. When I found out more about this system and decided I wanted a copy, they sell all these other color ones on Modretro's website. Unfortunately, they were all sold out. I was thinking about getting either the yellow or the green one, but that's okay. I like this gray one as well, just as much. So, features, fully compatible with the Game Boy Color. It has its own library of new produced games. Those new produced games also work in original Game Boy hardware as well. Then we have a really nice screen, which is a pixel level accuracy screen, which is really cool. Sapphire crystal over the front cover, so you don't get scratches as easy. Magnesium alloy case, which is really nice, and it is crush proof, which is funny. There's another YouTuber who tested that and drove over it with his car, and yeah, it survived just fine. Very cool. And it has USB-C on the bottom for video out. So if you need to stream or do whatever you want, it has that capability to do video out, which is nice. It also has the link cable and the IR sensor for transferring stuff or playing together, and comes with batteries, which is also cool. Anyway, so you open it up and you got this really cool artwork of, like I said, notebook doodles and stuff like that. QR code, so you can go to their website and see the quick start guide for the system. And the system was in here, and it came with Tetris and a set of 3 AA batteries. So very cool. Very excited to have this. I mean, and the big question is honestly, well, if you have an Analogue Pocket, why would you want this? And there's a couple reasons, but I'll get to that in a minute. Let's continue with the handheld itself. Here it is. Front, very nice. Got that sapphire glass, a beautiful screen, which I'll turn on in a minute. You got that alloy case, which is, you know, kind of cool to touch because it's winter here and it's cool, but very comfortable. A slightly textured plastic D-pad that works very well. Same with the start and select buttons. The B and A buttons are metal, which is kind of nice. Good play, very good buttons. On the bottom we have the speaker, which is one thing I was going to complain about, is that the speaker fires downward. I would have preferred it to bend somewhere on the front so it fires towards you. But the speaker is quite powerful and gets quite loud without much distortion at all. So it works great. There's that USB-C port and a headphone jack. On the side, we have the menu button, so you can adjust like brightness and some other system settings in there. Volume wheel. This is a hole for a little like lanyard keychain. On the other side, we have the old link cable, which is the same one that you would use on the old Game Boys, like the DOG Game Boys. Another lanyard or charm hole right there. Here's the cartridge slot with the power on slider switch, the IR communicator, and here's the battery cover, which is a nice little battery cover. It's metal too, and it's got these little rubber bits to make sure the batteries are nice and snug, don't move around in there. And there's the batteries, 3 AA batteries. I don't think it's gonna have a rechargeable battery pack. something that they could put in there. I don't know. You never know. That may come. But so far I've played with this thing probably 3 hours, and I still got pretty good amount of battery left in it. So let's go ahead and turn it on so you can check it out. Playing Tetris. So it gets pretty loud. And that's not even all the way up. Playing loud for me, playing Tetris. But this screen is magnificent. It works so well. It's beautiful. That's the thing that I would like this over the Analogue Pocket, is the fact that, let me turn that down while I talk, is it's pixel perfect. So you know that the Analogue Pocket screen is like a high def screen. It's got tons of pixels. It can do really good displays and stuff like that, but it kind of needs that because it also will play games from so many systems, which is the Analogue Pocket's strong point. But this one is pixel perfect to what a Game Boy Color was. So it's a completely redesigned screen, where the Analogue Pocket is probably an off-the-shelf type of display. So this one is built in-house by Modretro. So gorgeous, gorgeous screen, and you can adjust the brightness and everything like that through the menu here. Make it more bright. And see, and you also got a battery level right there. It tells you how much battery you have left. So yeah, like I said, I played 3 hours and I still have over half the batteries left. And I turned up the brightness by B and A. And then you can turn on 3x1 display or color correction, quick controls scheme, and this will tell you your firmware. And you could switch between players if you're playing a multiplayer game where you hand off the system between each other. Pretty cool. But yeah, so very cool game, it's system pretty much. But let's go ahead and try to compare it with let's go ahead and put this Tetris in the Analogue Pocket so we can see what that's like. Okay, here's my Analogue Pocket. Let's go ahead and pop in this Tetris here. Oh, it aired out on me. Interesting. Okay, so I was able to get a different game to work. I'm having errors with the Tetris cartridge, but when I put in Dragonime, it seems to be working just fine. And I'll talk about these games here in a second. So, yeah, I'm not sure what it is with the Tetris, but Dragonime's working fine. So let's take a look at the games I picked up. As you just saw, here is Dragonime, and this is a little turn-based RPG. Cool artwork on the front. I love these little boxes. They remind me of kind of like the Japanese size for the Game Boy boxes. You've got these embossed or stamped chromatic logo in the Modretro there in a foil pattern. And then you got some information about the game, some screenshots, some little character portraits on it like that. A charm is included, which I will show you. And inside you will get, in a little plastic tray, there's the charm. It's a little character from the game, and you can put it on one of those little lanyard or charm holes on the side. Here's the cartridge, a little sparkly gold cartridge in the shape of an original Game Boy cartridge. And of course, it comes with a manual as well. Full color characters, like the good old days of manuals that came with games. Lots of information, talks about the systems, controls, battles, all that stuff, items. Very useful, and including the nostalgic notes section. Very neat. And the other game I got is this Chromatarium Penitent. This is a tough game. So this is a very tough dungeon crawling game. Love this artwork on this game. It's very cool. But it is like OG Game Boy with the monochromatic, or the old green display. Monochrome, that's what I was thinking of. And you do these adventures through the dungeons, and you have to keep your vitality up, so when you move you have to keep that up. You have your health, you can find items, and as you just dungeon crawl. And this doesn't use a save battery, but it uses a password system, which is kind of cool, old school. And in the manual, it has a large note section, so you can write down passwords, which is pretty cool. And it has a little character next to it saying, "You're gonna need a pen and paper for this adventure." So yeah, very cool. And just to test some other things with the Chromatic here, I'm going to put in some other games. Here I got Warrior Land. We could see how it plays. But yep, playing just fine. But in the Game Boy Color style. So there we have it. Plays just fine. Now the other game I want to try is a Game Boy Color game. So let's try Oracle of Seasons. It's probably a little too bright for the camera. Doesn't look quite as good on the camera, but on the screen, man, does it look absolutely amazing. The colors are so vibrant and bright. It puts even those kits where people will mod their original Game Boy Colors to shame. This screen is absolutely amazing. But yeah, so it plays all those just fine. And I think I forgot to mention that this is run by an FPGA, similar to what Analogue Pocket does. So yeah, there you have it. Looking wonderful for the Mod Chromatic, or Modretro Chromatic. I probably said that a lot, sorry. I do that quite often. So yeah, I'm loving the system. I can't wait to get some of these new exclusive games that they made for the system. And honestly, these games are great, and if you don't want to buy another system because you have an Analogue Pocket, you can still buy these games. They work great. They look awesome. There's a little shooter in the set of the new set, and I would highly suggest maybe getting that. I'm gonna pick it up as well. This is Dragon I'm here, by the way. So this is the menu. I just started, so I really didn't do much where you can level up and equip and stuff like that. So I want to see if I can get to a point where I could show you a little bit of a battle, because it is pretty cool. There's a bad guy. It's very much a layout, kind of like Pokemon here. One-on-one too. I don't think there's going to be anything other than one-on-one. So there you have it, guys. What do you think of the Modretro Chromatic? You thinking about picking one up? or you just cool with using your Analogue Pocket, which is completely understandable. Maybe you want to pick up some of the games, and there's a good list of games. So, all right, guys, thanks for watching.